So I have removed the divider between the top bed and the bottom bed, and here's what we have left. So the divider kind of was a small wall there that kept the mattress from pushing forward, which I don't believe it would, but it just looked nicer. So these are still there because I'm going to move the kind of the lower bunk up here so I have a better idea of what I can do up there. So I've removed all the bedding. I'm going to take this inside. Here is what remains in here. This is the normally lower bunk that I put back there. And here is what it looks like under that couch. This used to be a futon. It is from World Market. I got it off the marketplace, but they do still sell it. It's fairly awesome as far as futons go if I used it normally because these sides would pop up. This one I cut to fit. My plans morphed, and this is what came out of it. Initially, I thought I could use that futon as it was intended, but it was just a little too wide, and I found that it just worked perfectly flat with big pillows on the side. It was just easier and didn't need all the finagling. So I'm going to remove it and put it in the garage, kind of see how the space feels without them. These are kind of the easy way to break things down before really getting ugly with this. This big cabinet is held in by so many large, like 3.5, 4-inch screws. If I do follow through with what I'm thinking and pull this bad boy out of here, it's not necessarily a point of no return, but it's definitely, I have to be really sure. Let's just say that. Actually, good thing you didn't see that because that was weird. The sides do still pop up and it's a little tricky getting it out of here now that, everything else is in here. So this is the next step. The bed's gone. That's my heater. Here you go. Heater. Something I have to consider are my wheel wells. I actually may insulate them while everything's out now because my builder didn't do that. So I may do that and just put some Reflectix on top of them. I'll get this stuff out of here. See where we're at in bed. All right, so bed's out. Here's what we have. It's coming along. So I think the clearance through the aisle is actually pretty good with this 30-inch twin against where the wall where it would be. The issue is the ends. So I would either have that large of a gap there or the gaps at the other end. I think the other end is probably the right way to go, simply because I think it'd be more functional. But yet if the bed's pushed further that way, I also have more couch that can see out the door, which is nice. Otherwise, I'm not sure what would necessarily go back here unless I move my toilet cabinet. But then my shower ring would then be maybe still around the shower, but not around the toilet. Gotta think about that. In the back of my van, I had this long piece of wood that was dividing my upper bunk from the lower, just to give it a little bit of a separation. I actually got this piece of wood and its matching part right here. This was on the side of the road. It's an IKEA bookshelf of some sort. I saw it, grabbed it, put it in my husband's truck. He loves me when I do that. This one I whitewashed, cut. Clearly it's a little smaller and made it fit that particular area. Now, with this next plan, I believe I want to basically reverse it because the low part and even the middle part, it's great when you're climbing in bed. You don't put too much weight on that. The top part, I feel like when my daughter or husband or friends have climbed up, they tend to put a lot more weight on this than I want. It's held up by a big 2x4. That's, there's a lot of support. Ultimately, I just really don't like that. So just to lower it a little bit and also to swap it, because my new layout plan, I think, needs the reverse. The head's going to be in the opposite direction. Rather than turning it around and redoing the back, I'm going to use the other piece from the other side of this bookcase that thankfully I saved, because I'd rather leave the one that works perfectly right now intact and work on the next one. So I'm going to trace this out, have it be backwards, and also cut, I don't know, like 2 inches off the bottom so that it's just a little bit lower and I don't have quite the height there. It's my plan. All right, so it's a few minutes later. I have cut the board and it fits so perfectly that I had to kind of pound on it here to get it to fit, but it fits. Clearly it's not whitewashed yet, but I did cut that end. It's been sanded. I will just whitewash it today and protect it, and then keep both, or maybe put this right back in here just so that that part is kind of like done, because I know my top bunk is going back where it was. It's all this down here that I'm unsure of. And the only thing left back there is to get the battery back in. So it's just going to be like half done. In the meantime, I'll take care of this today. So here is the back. Now that I have it on, the back is a mess. Ignore that because the mattress will cover up all of that. It just happened to be my backboard as I was painting quite often. We are going to attach brackets back right here and then drill them into the new board right here, right there. So that is the goal. And what I use here, if anyone's wondering, that is actually PVC cover that you can get for 90 cents at Lowe's. It's to cover PVC piping, but it, in fact, for me, just acts, it's actually got a sticky side here I've got down so you can't see it, but it acts as just for me a cushy way to, I don't know, finish that edge in a very inexpensive way. Piece of cake, right? I do like to pre-drill little like guide holes. It just makes it a lot easier, and it will often keep the wood from splitting depending on the type of wood that you have. Don't ask me about the woods because I'm not that good. I just know I've learned that some split, So clearly this isn't as wide as my 2x4 here, which is held up, and this is basically like the T-frame right there. So if people put weight on this when they're climbing into bed, all this does is push down on the 2x4, which pushes down on that T-frame. I'm going to call it a T-frame. I don't know if that's what it's called. Keep in mind, I'm not pre-drilling these because I've already got holes in there from before. The trick is not to lose your bits. If anyone watching happens to know what kind of wood split when you don't pre-drill the hole, I would love to hear it. I'm sure I could Google it easy enough, but I just tend to forget, I guess, when I think about it. So if you know, please shout out. Easy peasy. There is the new to me one. All right, so what I've done, I've put the IKEA Scorva, whatever you call these. They're Scorva something from IKEA. Easiest things you can get as far as putting a bed in a van. They just hook with these plates. As long as you have it level, they're extendable right here, and they're wonderful. I'll put the large mattress back here in order to then put the smaller mattress on top of that, and then have, because this should be good. I hope this is all settled here, with the exception of getting my battery back in the box. Otherwise, the front, I'm going to unload everything from the cabinets and figure out what I'm doing up there. How in the world did I do this? So, what you just witnessed, I did not have to cut this bed at all, except for the corners that are at the door because of the way the van curves. I forgot about that. So it's in. I didn't shorten it like I originally intended. That is because I don't think this side over here will be used and that it will matter. And I really liked the scalloped edges, and I felt like it would maybe take that away or cause a problem when I'm just making the bed and it looked nice. I think part of the reason it looks nice is because I can tuck it in that wood and you don't see that blanket. So we'll see. In any case, it's all redone. It's all finished. And when I tell you, I use the cheapest of materials. I used the cheapest paintbrush, cheap paper towels, cheap paint, water's free, and like a very cheap polyurethane and a tiny little thing that I just went over with a chip brush. And that's it. It didn't take me any time at all. You can do that with any piece of wood. I just got lucky with this at the side of the road. But it really makes a big difference, right? I am loading everything kind of on this bed so I can get a better grasp of everything elsewhere. These are my window covers for the back. Keep those down here for a second. This one's smaller. It shouldn't be as big of a problem. There we go. I actually thought about just narrowing the bed and making it this width, but I didn't want to do that, especially when my husband's with me. I want him to have all the space he needs, so it will remain like so. So the plan for the next time is I should have the bit that I need to get these screws out, because they were a special star end screw, like a T-screw or a Torque, I'm not sure. I ordered those from Amazon. I should get them tomorrow, a cheap set that will do the job. And you can see there are screws in the bottom of this. They're 3 or 4 inches long. It's also anchored to the wall where the studs are. And luckily when they did, you can't really see it, unfortunately. Luckily when they did my wood, because this top was unfinished, I was able to see where the studs were, which made it helpful when I got inside that cabinet to attach it with the studs. But you will see me do that in reverse. So day 1 was getting the bed out of here, redoing this wooden divider. Day 2 will be emptying all the items out of this cabinet, out of my toilet cabinet over there. Probably putting a lot of it on top of my bed or taking it in the house. I just, we'll see how that goes. And then start pulling these bad boys out of the wall to see what kind of space I have for my plan B. All right. Until next time.